Welcome everyone to a brand new show, Gene Betty's Answering Line. The show where all you guitar fans out there, or even other musicians, get to call in and we give you our best answers. Hey everybody, we're going to be taking your phone calls today here with Clarinet Pete answering your questions. Yeah, Gene, thanks. It's really great being here today, and we're going to answer all the questions that people ask over the hotline. Right you are, Pete, and we got a few people on the line here, and let's take our first caller.
Hello, Mr. Petty. I love your videos, and I'd really like you to answer a question for me. Could you tell me, I've been having trouble with the bar chord. I really can't seem to get my fingers around it. Can you help me out?
Okay. Here's an E chord with your first three fingers. The pinky's not doing anything here. Now I want you to use your pinky. Use the last three fingers and play your E chord with the open strings, but your first finger is free. That's right. There you go. Now move it up a fret. Look what happens. The inner notes sound with the open strings. Well, that'd be okay if you're playing a Spanish tune, or some of these chords work. Here's a 5th fret. The open strings create an A suspended chord, and there's that Spanish chord, and there we go. Okay, now we're gonna block off these open strings, but first I want you to just play with the inner strings, and don't play the open strings. Basically, what you're playing here is a bar chord without the bar. You get 3 strings inside, and they form the major triad. Now, we could get down to the 2 bottom notes. We form what's known as a power chord. A flat, A. There's an A power chord. B flat, B, B flat, A, G. And so the power chords designate the positional key. Now we got the F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. We have 4 notes there. That's almost a whole bar chord. Now let's concentrate on the top strings. Here's your F chord. F sharp, G, G sharp, A. These are all the upper strings. Lower power chord. Can you do them with one finger? Put that finger, put the weight on the heavy strings, and then alternate it with the light strings. Heavy strings, light strings, heavy strings. And now put your inner strings back on, and then we got a variance. You can put your weight on either side, the lower notes or the upper notes. Now, try it just on one fret. Now, put one finger down, you get a minor 7th. 2 fingers down, you get a minor chord. Then your 3rd finger down, you get a major chord. Now you lift your pinky up, you get a dominant 7th chord. That's your G dominant 7th. just to show you how the dominant sevenths work. Back to the power chord. Now we'll do it with a full chord. Notice I'm not putting the upper strings in there, because it's not the sound I want. But this time we'll do it with upper strings. It's a whole different sound. If you feel like you can't make all the strings on the bar chord, just use part of the bar chord. See here? We've added the inner strings plus one string on the top. Still another inner string on the B string. This is still a kind of bar chord. Same notes as the bar chord, only you're not barring. So, you gotta practice portions of the portions of the bar chord. There's the minor chord again. Now we're just gonna put a minor chord, and we're gonna put one finger down. That's a minor seventh. There's a minor seventh, just one finger down with the bar. There's your bar. Now when you practice, just let off, like I just did there. Don't keep pressurizing it all the time. You're going to hurt your finger. Just let off easy. And get in the habit of lifting it, where you're not putting any pressure on it and you're not playing the chord.
Thank you, Gene. That was really great advice. Take part of the chord instead of trying to do it all at once.
That's right. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Just take a little at a time. You'll be fine. All right, let's take our next caller. Someone who wants to know about scales.
Hey, Gene, I was wondering, do we really have to do scales?
Well, if you're just going to play chords all the time, you could probably get away without doing them. But if you want to play leads, solos, or melody, you got to learn your scales.
That's right, Gene. As a woodwind player, you have to learn all your scales. Otherwise, you're not going to make it in this business.
And there's your basic G scale. Alright, see if you can get a little speed on that. Do this every day. Every day you gotta do this scale. And then see if you can go faster. All the notes should sound clean. Now take it up a fret. Do the G sharp scale. Do the A scale. Do the B flat scale. B scale. These are all major scales. C scale, C major scale. Alright. Now here's a little twist called thirds. up every fret. Take it up every fret and gain speed. Now this one is called broken scales. There's your broken scales. Now adding speed. Moving up a fret every time. This can be very time consuming, so I hope you have a lot of time. Now here's your pentatonic scale. Do the pentatonic scale in every key. And gradually build up speed. Here's a back and forth. Very helpful for flexibility in the pentatonic scale. I'm not saying you have to get faster every time. That takes gradually over a period of months to get it faster. But a little patience and a lot of time, you'll be able to get it much faster than when you started out. There's many ways to play the pentatonic scale, but here's an alternate way. With your pinky starting on the root. It's the same as the A. Now you do this. That was actually a Jimmy Page lick. Not too clean. Gotta work on getting it cleaner.
Well, I guess you gotta do what you gotta do. Sort of like maybe doing exercise or something like that. Keeping in shape, right? That's right, you gotta do your scales every day. Just like keeping in shape, exactly. And now let's take our next caller.
Hey, Gene, great show. I was wondering if you could tell us about stretching the strings while you're playing. I can't seem to find much information on it.
Yeah, that's a great question. The secret is using your other fingers to help you stretch. Alright, here we are, stretching. Stretching one string with the third finger. And it matches the pitch of the next string on the 5th fret. Now notice, I'm using the other two fingers to help back up the stretch. the other fingers help it along. And here's the pinky doing it with the other fingers. They're all touching there. They're all kind of pushing together. After a while, you may gain some independence. But start out with helping the other fingers. Now here's a short stretch. It's not as intense or as wide as the other stretch. See, it goes up 1 fret. It matches the sound 1 fret above. Hear that? It's just a fret stretch, 1 fret stretch. Now we're going to do a 2 fret stretch up to this note, which happens to be on the next string, which is pretty convenient. So it's used quite often. This is probably the most popular stretch that there is. And here's the first finger going to the... Notice you have to go up to the 4th position there from the first finger to match the next string over. This stretch is easier. Now here we come from the top. We're starting the stretch after we bend it. Don't pick it until it's already stretched. That takes some practice, because you got to know how far to stretch it. Now notice I had a little vibrato on that last one. See, none of those had vibrato. Now, notice I wait till the end of the stretch to do the vibrato. It seems like one motion. It seems like I'm doing the vibrato the whole time, but I'm not. I'm waiting till I get up to the top of the note, and then I do the vibrato.
All right, we have time for one more caller. You're on with Gene Penny's answering line. Go ahead.
Hey, Gene, I was wondering if you can help me out with getting ideas for leads.
I know you could copy them off of some good players and such, but I was wondering, how do you get ideas on your own?
Okay, asking about leads here. Where do you get ideas for leads? Well, I got my key, so I know I'm in A. I got my pentatonic scale. But something very essential that a lot of people forget is the rhythm. See, I lay out a straight rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll slip in half a measure of lines, like this. And go back to the riff. I would go back to the, it's more like a vamp. Make it easier just to do the vamp on one string, 1 or 2 strings here on the octave A. So in the key of A, get back on the rhythm, practice another lick now. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that one note was a lick. Don't get too complicated. But keep that pulse going. This is just breaking up the pentatonic scale. get back to that pulse. One, two, three, four. Don't stray too far. Just play close to what you were just playing. These are all little licks based off the pentatonic scale. You can use a metronome for this kind of thing. Okay, we're laying down some chordal minor. We're going to try a different groove. It's more like a triplet groove. Okay, now we're going to get the groove laid down. 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And look, it's a G scale actually, used for the A minor key. It's called Dorian mode. Notice I'm not trying to kill it. Just playing the notes in the scale. Couple stretches here and there. We got that pulse. That's the main thing. And there's some recollection of the thirds practice. Stretching. Repetition. It's all basically the G scale mixed with the pentatonic. Alright, that was really great having all our callers in today, and that's about all the time we have. Yeah, Gene, it's been really great being on your show. Hope we could do it next time, and we're glad to answer a whole bunch more questions. Sure, Pete, come on back next week, and we'll have a whole lineup for you. And everybody else, I hope you appreciate and enjoyed this show, Gene Petty's Answering Line. See you next time.